Hello everyone, I hope you've been well. Today I will be redrawing a piece I did back in 2010. As this picture is very special and dear to me, I would like to tell you a bit more about it. This will get a bit personal, but I would like to share this story as I'm not ashamed of it, but more proud of myself for actually getting through it, and I would like other people who are struggling like I used to back then to know they are not alone and that it's possible to grow as a person. It's pretty difficult to talk about, but let's just dive into it. So, this old drawing was a gift that I made for my boyfriend at the time. We are no longer together and I'm honestly happy about it, but we will get into this later. When I was 14-year-old girl, I was going to high school like any other kid, but I always felt something is lacking in my life. I felt like people just don't understand me because I stand out too much. I'm too different from what the mainstream is. That they don't understand me because it's wrong to be like this. And I think this feeling could have been caused by the fact that when I was in elementary school, my little group of friends decided to cast me aside for some reason, and given that I was already an outsider in the class before, it ended up in me being alone for a whole year of school. I didn't mind much that I couldn't talk to anyone in my class and everyone despising me, but I hated that I could not trust anyone, and I hated how unfair this was. And my biggest fear was any type of group or pair project, because no one wanted to be in a group with me. This was happening before in PE classes too. You know how they used to separate kids into two groups to fight with each other for dodgeball, for example. Teacher would choose two kids to be captains for each team, and the kids would then choose a person after person based on who they liked and who they thought would be a good fighter. Well, for some reason, I always was the last one on these picks. They were even always saying that whoever will have me in their team will lose the match. Bear in mind that this was not true, and I was not bad at PE at all. But, well, they definitely made me feel like it was 100 times worse than I was. So, I lasted like a year like this, solitary. Thankfully, I made friends with two other upperclassmen back then, otherwise it would be much worse than this. Years later, after this happened, I met girls from the little friends group which I talked about earlier, and I asked what it was that I did so wrong that they started hating me. First reply that I got was that if I really want to talk about this after all these years, that it happened and it was something so very little, right? And when I confirmed that I really want to know, then I got the it was probably nothing important answer. Well, good to know that you made me go through all this just for nothing. Okay, so back to 14-year-old me. As I was always feeling out of my place, when one of my friends introduced me online to their uncle, who was 11 years older than us, we sort of clicked together. We were chatting online a lot, and after a year of knowing each other, we started going out. This original drawing was supposed to show me how I go through a snowy field to meet him, my boyfriend at the time, and it was a Christmas gift for him. I was a very naive kid back then, but I still tend to be very naive till this day, but I sort of think it's a good quality to try to see good in people. As you can imagine, 11 years difference is a lot, especially when one of the people is still a teenager. but I never felt unequal to him or his friends and family of the similar age as his. And I think later this made me a little bit disrespect older people. Like, I don't see a need to feel different with people who are like 10 years older than me. I feel like, hey, we are all friends, right? But I think they look differently at this. At first I was really happy in the relationship, as probably any teenage in love would be, right? Later we were together longer. I kind of grew out of being in love, and I just got used to be in the situation that I was in. I wasn't really happy, but it was not bad either, kind of. Except that it was bad. Yeah, I have to admit it. He was always belittling me, always making me insecure about how I look or how I act. He used to call me stupid often. I mean, of course he would be smarter when he already graduated, right? He was going to university while I was still in high school. Excuse me, but that is no reason to call younger people stupid. He always wanted to change me into a girl that he would like to date. He called me ugly and fat, even though looking back I don't think I was fat. At the time I thought myself that I am, and I didn't like myself. Also, I felt like I don't deserve to be happy, or that I'm more likely not capable of feeling this way. I was thinking to myself, I don't really want to date at all, but for society it's unacceptable to be single, and I don't really hate him, so since I will have to find a man eventually, why not stay with him? Why, when I don't want anyone else, why should I change something, right? And this kept going on for 6 years, until I turned 19 and went to university. I would like to fit this into the end of this video, so let's make a different one about what happened at university later in more detail. But let's say that thanks to meeting new people, including my best friends nowadays, I found out that I don't have to torture myself. Life is cruel enough by itself, and there's no need to make it even worse to yourself willingly. And most importantly, what I learned is that I have to love myself. Because first of all, you have to love yourself, because you are basically the only person that always has to stand up for yourself and not let yourself down. Because if you won't stand up for yourself, no one else will come. You have to love yourself. And secondly, which back then really hit home for me, is if you don't love yourself, how can you expect anyone else to love you? Like, what do you have to offer? You are like, I'm this person that I hate, love me. Right? It doesn't make any sense. You have to be like, yeah, I'm content with who I am, I'm amazing, don't you think? And you're amazing too, let's be together, yay! After I realized that, I broke up with him, which honestly wasn't easy, and I had to do it like 2 times, 3 times maybe. I always got back to him again, because I was so used to being with him that when we are together for almost 6 years, I missed him a lot, even when I knew I don't love him anymore. He was just someone I'm used to, you know. But I did it, and here I am reminiscing about past that was 11 years ago, about the girl that drew this picture. And even though I still may not be happy, I'm free to do whatever I want, and I don't feel the need to punish myself for the sheer crime of me existing. life is a struggle, but I learned to appreciate little things and to appreciate myself too. And you might think I would like to change things if I could, if I would just get the chance to change the past. But no, I wouldn't change a thing, because all of this experience results in who I am today, and I don't want to change it. I like myself for who I am. Of course, there is always a room for improvement, but I deserve happiness. I deserve to not feel bad about myself. And so do you. You just need to accept yourself the way you are. Because it's not perfect things in life that are making us like someone. As for me, it's always the little imperfections that create the strong bond between me and an individual and make us different from each other. Every one of us is unique and deserves happiness, so even if you are struggling right now, believe me, it will get better over time. You can change your mindset just as I did, but you need to be open to change. And I believe you. I believe in you and you can do it. Just believe yourself too. You're not alone. Anyway, I hope you will like this redraw that I did, because I'm quite happy with how my perspective of this whole drawing changed, and that now there is a happy girl standing on the snowy field, enjoying her freedom, just breathing in the freezing air and living at the moment. Just look at the colorful sky, and it's also happy. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel too. I will see you in the next one, and for now just enjoy me finishing this picture. Bye bye!